You're listening to Worshipped. This is a temple of the divine feminine, a sacred space to reclaim and remember the power within you that they want you to hide. I'm Hilary, occupational therapist, professional dominatrix, and pleasure priestess. As a woman who's gone through many deaths and rebirths and lives a path of deep transformation, I'm here to guide you through the dark feminine arts, the somatics of nervous system, feminine and masculine energetics, sacred leadership, self-worship, sensuality, pleasure, and the goddesses within us. This is not just a podcast. This is a reckoning. Welcome to Worshipped. Hello, my gorgeous, gorgeous goddesses. Welcome back. I just spent 5 beautiful days in Central Coast, California, San Luis Obispo, Paso Robles, Pismo Beach. One of my favorite places on the literal planet. And the crazy thing is, okay, I'm going to tell you a little story about it because it's fun. So when I tell people I'm going there for the summer, they're like, oh, I've never really heard of that, or I've never been there, or why do you go there, right? Because typically it's San Diego or LA or Miami, right? And so it's like the beautiful blend of beach and wineries without all of the people. It's like Napa without all of the people, and it's like San Diego beaches without all the people. It's lovely. And I'm kind of nervous about saying it because I'm like, I don't want everyone to know they go there. Anyways, it's kind of inconvenient to get to. It's definitely a flight. So I think that deters a lot of people from going. But the energy there. Okay. So I went on a trip there. The first time I even knew of this place was because I was dating a man who was from Paso Robles, and we went to go visit his family, and it was just magical. It was such a beautiful experience, and I knew that I was meant to go back there. And so I'm no longer in that relationship. That was many years ago. But last summer I told my bestie, we have to go back. It's truly just magical. And so we went, and it was even better than I remembered. And it was so charging for me. Like the energy there was just, I can't even describe it. I can feel it. I can feel it like tingling in my body. And so we went for like 4 days last year and came back home, and I was so depleted, like depressed when I got home. And I realized I did my astrocartography. I found out all of my lines, my Venus lines, all of those things. And I realized that that is one of the most charging places for me in the literal world, right? In my lines across the world is Central Coast, California. And so when I'm there, it's like I'm a battery plugged in, right? I'm charging. And when I come home, I don't have that charge. It's very neutral. And I know Arizona's neutral for me. It's grounding for me. I'm a native. I was born here. This is always home. So it's not like it's draining, but it's not having that extra charge. So when I come home, I just feel like kind of like this level of depletion. And it's so interesting. That place is magical. I want to start my port empire there. Magical, magical, magical. So that was beautiful. The beach is just incredible. And I was able to do some really good grounding and connecting with the feminine moon and the masculine waters. But I wanted to talk about how we get so caught up in the worship of productivity, right? Like everything in society teaches us to literally worship being productive. We get our worth from being productive. We feel like our love and abundance has to come from being productive, right? We feel like we don't deserve things if we haven't earned it, if we haven't worked for it, if we haven't given ourselves for it, right? And so it's interesting because I was in a little bit of a low energetically about creating and business, and I wasn't feeling like that creative spark. And I was hoping that going on this trip would kind of ignite that for me. I'm like, the energy there is going to do it for me. it's going to give me the right vibe. I'm going to have so many great ideas, and all of these things are going to come to me, and I'm going to be tapping into the energy of the ocean, right? And it's going to help me be so creative. None of that. None of that. Whenever I tried to sit down to work, it was like pulling teeth. I felt like tension. It felt like such a challenge. Like it took me an hour to create one post. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And it's funny because as much as I teach this, I still work on it. Right. And it's little times like these where I'm like, Hilary, you were still missing the point. You were still missing the point. This was not meant to be a work trip. This was not meant to be time for that. This was meant to be time to turn it off. To turn it off and enjoy and be present in the space, right? To be present in soaking up that energy. And it's funny because I have in mind of my vision for what I want for my business, right? And so for my business, it's like I want the freedom of time, money, and location. That's my intention behind all of this. And I've always pictured myself across the world, right? Like in Greece, or I'm in a villa in Italy, and I'm taking calls and I'm creating content and I'm able to work while I travel. But I think really what this trip showed me is that that's not me. And when I travel, I want to check the fuck out. When I travel, I don't want to be thinking about work at all. I like making content when I travel, right? Like I like getting photos and I like getting videos and thinking like, oh, this would be great in my story, or this would be a great background for a reel. I like thinking about that. But to actually sit down and take the time to write a post or to write an email or to put something out, I don't want to be doing that when I'm traveling. I want to be soaking up every drop, every ounce of the place that I'm in while I'm there. And so I think that's truly what part of this trip was meant for, is to help me kind of rewire that and re-envision what I actually want. Because the reason I thought I would be traveling and working is because I thought I had to, is because I was still stuck in the programming of, if I'm making money, I have to be working. I have to put in so many hours a day to be making money, right? And that's not true. That's a construct that we've put on ourselves. That's a trading of time and money that we've told ourselves must be, but it's not, right? There's nothing that tells you you have to put so much time towards something to make so much money. We've just put ourselves in those agreements. But I don't have to work while I travel. And so this whole time, I have been trying to create the reality where I'm like, okay, well, this is the life I want to live. So I'm going to start doing it now. I'm going to start living that. I'm going to start working while I travel. I freaking hate working while I travel. I hate it. And this is work that I love, right? But I don't like waking up in the morning thinking, I could go like enjoy a little walk down by the beach. Nope. I have to get up and I have to make content because I have to do my work first, right? And I put barriers in place that kept me from truly enjoying and being present because I was still in the construct of trading my time for money. Instead of enjoying the recharge and the energy and the space while I'm there and getting a clear head so that I could come back refreshed and ready. And so I did not come back refreshed and ready. I came back more frustrated because I didn't do what I told myself I was going to do. And I don't like not holding my commitments to myself. And so then I was even more frustrated and disappointed with myself. And now I'm not in that energetic charge. And so now I was just sad. I was just depleted and sad and frustrated with myself. So all of that to say, I am still working through those things just as we all are. And it was a really, really good reminder because I am still holding myself to those non-existent agreements, non-existent contracts that tell us we have to live a certain way, that money has to come to us a certain way, that we have to earn it. Right? And so I didn't allow myself to just be in rest. And that's the whole point of this. You don't need to earn your rest. We're taught that we're not worthy if we don't earn it. We're taught that we're lazy if we don't earn it. If you don't work hard, why are you resting? If you haven't done anything productive today, how dare you take a nap? Why are you resting? You should be working. You should be doing something useful. You should be productive. You should be cleaning. You should be cooking. You should be planning something. You should be working. Right? And this is me as a single woman who lives by herself. I cannot imagine the pressure as a mother with children in the house. The pressure and the struggle, like the massive challenge that it would take to actually be able to rest without your mind going a million miles a minute about what needs to be done, who needs to do this, who's doing that, right? So it's hard enough for me to get myself to rest. And so I can't imagine what it's like as a mother. But I think that's why it's even more, because it requires you to prioritize it even more. It requires you to prioritize you even more, because it's that much more difficult to create that time and that space and the ease to do it. And one, that's why it's so few and far between. That's why it's so rare. But two, that's why it is so critical. When is the last time that you rested? When is the last time that you took 20 minutes for yourself? Nothing productive. You're not making a list. You're not thinking of your groceries that you need. You're not thinking 20 minutes to yourself to go lay in a quiet space. I would say meditate or do some sensual movement or something, but I know that most of us are at so much capacity already that almost feels like more of a job. You know, I understand that almost feels like more of like an obligation, especially if like meditating doesn't come natural to you, then it feels like work. And that's not the point of rest. So resting can literally be going and just laying on your bed in a quiet, dark space, right? No extra stimulus, no visual stimulus, no auditory stimulus, right? Just let it go. And I'm going to bet that in the beginning, when you do that, it's going to be nearly impossible to turn your brain off because you're so used to running, because you're so used to always doing something, because you are so used to prioritizing everyone else. But what happens when you are able to turn that off? What does that do for your nervous system? What does that do for your brain? What does that do for your energetic levels, right? It's a recharge for all of your systems, to not have to be maintaining that on, to not have to be maintaining everything for everyone else. There's magic in that. Your body needs that. Your cortisol needs that, right? Your nervous system needs that. You need a time when you are not constantly in survival. You need a time when you can turn those things off and your body can reset. It's valuable. It's important. It's crucial to your well-being and to your mental health and to your nervous system. It is crucial to your frequency, to the energy that you're putting out. Because what frequency do you think you're normally putting out? You're normally putting out fatigue, drain, frustration, exhaustion, right? When you rest and your nervous system is now in a regulated state, you feel happy. You can feel joy. You can feel pleasure. You can feel open to receiving. You don't just shut down, right? You can attract in abundance because you feel abundant. You feel like you're in overflow. You feel like your cup is full, not that you're drained. And so when You have a frequency of being open, receiving pleasure, abundance. That's what you're going to attract more of. But when you're currently in this frequency of drain, exhaustion, fatigue, frustration, burnout, that's what you're going to attract more of. From you, from your partners, from the universe, from everything. And so rest is not just some pretty ideal. It's not just something that you're like, oh, well, that would be nice, but that can't happen for me. It has to happen for you. This is not just a dainty little suggestion. This is a must do, or your body will stop functioning. This is a must do, or you will have an autoimmune disease. This is a must do, or you are going to develop eczema, you're going to develop chronic stress, you're going to develop high cortisol, you're going to develop thyroid issues, you're going to develop. Your body literally shuts itself down from stress. And we are constantly in stress because we've been told as women that we do not deserve rest. We've been told as women that you cannot rest, you are not worthy of it until you earn it, until you work for it, until you drain yourself out for it. And it's not true. That is not true. Why do they want you working and draining and burning yourself out? Because the world benefits off of your labor. The world benefits off of your energy. And they're getting the best fucking deal on the planet when you don't ask for anything in return. They're getting the best fucking deal on the planet when your energy and your labor is free and they don't have to give you anything for it. Because you don't know the value of it. Because you don't recharge it, right? You let people take it from you and you give it away and you prioritize everyone else and you deplete yourself. And you just keep giving and giving and giving and doing and doing and doing. And your cup's empty. Your body's shutting down. You're not open to receiving. You don't even know what pleasure is anymore. And the world benefits the most from that. Men benefit from that. The government benefits from that. Society benefits from that. Society benefits from you feeling like shit, thinking shitty thoughts about yourself, and then buying some product online to lose weight like a miracle. Getting antidepressants because you can't figure out why you feel so horrible. Buying anti-aging products because you're starting to see wrinkles, and God forbid you show a single sign of aging and it's coming from your stress. The world benefits from you giving everything you have away for free and trying to buy back ways to fix it. Literally, when you have what you need, you have every solution in that book. You just have to love yourself enough to do it. You just have to value yourself enough to do it. You just have to prioritize your well-being enough to do it. And if you're sitting here thinking, well, I have kids to take care of, I have a family to, how are you going to take care of your kids when you're in bed with an autoimmune disease? How are you going to take care of your kids when you have a heart attack? You can't be the best you for them if you're not the best you for you. If you don't do it for you, you're not going to be able to do it for them. If you don't do it for you, you're not going to be able to do it for a partner. If you don't do it for you, you're not going to be able to do it for your aging parents. Right? You're going to keep draining and depleting yourself and giving everything that you have until you're a shell. Until you don't exist for you anymore. And how many of us are living this way? How many of us are living as empty, shriveled husks of ourselves? Because the world tells you to. Because the world benefits from it. Because the world benefits from you giving everything and receiving nothing in return. That is the best deal they can ever get. And for what? For you to expend your life force? For you to expend your life force without feeling pleasure, desire, abundance, love, so that you can settle for scraps and live a mediocre life that you never wanted, day after day after day? How long are you going to do this? How long are you going to deplete yourself and drain everything that you have? until you finally say enough. Until you finally say, I'm worth it. Until you finally just say, I deserve to live the life I want. Not what everyone else wants from me, not what everyone else expects from me, not what everyone else has pushed me into. What do you want? Do you even know? Most of us don't. Never been asked. You deserve rest. You deserve love. You deserve abundance. You deserve to feel pleasure. You deserve to live the life that you desire. You deserve to be worshipped by you. Girly pop, it's got to start with you. If you don't worship yourself, no man is getting on his knees for you. If you don't worship yourself, the universe is not going to do it for you. And if you can't give yourself 20 minutes of rest, girl, we're a long ways away from self-worship. If you feel guilty, if you feel shame, if you feel lazy, if you feel unlovable because you can't give yourself a mental and a physical break, we've got work to do. You're in the right place. And I know. I get it. That was me. I was notorious for draining myself. I was notorious for being the woman who was everywhere, everything, and everyone at the same time. Everyone would ask me, how do you do it? Oh my God, Hilary, you have so much energy. How do you do all of these things? How do you do it? Because I burned myself out. Because I had nothing left for me. Because I would run and run and run myself ragged until I got sick. And my body would force me to rest. And thankfully, it was just the common cold or the flu. It was something that would force me to rest for a couple of days, right? It would slow me down. It would make me stop because I physically couldn't keep going. And thankfully, I caught on to this. And I changed my habits. And I changed the way I thought about my energy. And I changed the way that I was prioritizing everyone else. Thankfully, before it became something more serious. Before it became something that would force me to permanently rest, to rest for a long time. So I get it. But none of that changed until I started prioritizing myself, until I set boundaries around my time and my energy, until I realized my worth, my value, the power of my energy, and that I don't just give it away for free. And I don't just give it to everyone else because they deserve it more than I do. And I don't give it away because I have to earn love. And I don't give it away because that's the only way to create abundance. And I don't force myself to work and hustle and pressure because that's the only way. I now know how important it is to give myself rest because I am worthy of it. Inherently. Because I don't have to earn it. And I don't have to work while I'm on a vacation because time equals money. I don't have to follow these constructs that we have been told and sold and lied to about from day one, and neither do you. Let this be your reminder and your permission that you need rest. And not only do you need it, you deserve it, you're worthy of it. That is my message for you today, goddesses, and I learned that one a hard way this week. Again, because some of the most important lessons need to come back around. And a little side note, I can't stop looking at my necklace. I got this at a vintage shop in Santa Margarita, right outside of Paso Robles. I am in love with this. It's giving me like Artemis Archer vibes. These arrows. Oh, See, and it's the little things. This incredible experience I had, the most amazing things that I found while I was there, and I literally got to ride my dream horse, a Clydesdale, and there were so many beautiful things that I would have enjoyed more if I didn't have in the back of my mind that I had to be working and I had to be earning and I had, you know, rest, be present, enjoy your time. You deserve it. Gorgeous goddesses, I will see you next week.